Hola chicos, necesitas sacar tu paquete de gramática porque vamos a tomar apuntes sobre demonstrative adjectives and pronouns. So you might be thinking to yourself, well, what is a demonstrative adjective or a demonstrative pronoun? Well, demonstrative adjectives and pronouns are used to indicate specific things. We can use them to indicate specific people, animals, any sort of object. An example of a demonstrative adjective in English would include words like that or this. For instance, I don't want that one, I want this one. English uses this and that for singular items and these and those for plural items. So now that we've kind of talked about what a demonstrative is, again, a demonstrative is the fancy word for words like this, these, that, and those, used to point out specific things or people. We need to realize that a demonstrative can actually be an adjective or a pronoun. And it's always going to agree with the noun that it's describing or replacing. For example, in the sentence, those rings are expensive. In Spanish, I say, esos anillos son caros, and you will hopefully notice that anillos ends in os, so it's masculine and plural. So my esos is also masculine and plural. Demonstratives in general are used to indicate where something is. In Spanish, we are going to be using them to indicate if something is close to, not as close to, or far away from the speaker. Okay, so let's finally go over our demonstrative adjectives that we have. Let's start off with the demonstrative adjectives that we are going to use when something is close to us. This is like saying this or these in English. Our demonstrative adjectives for items that are close to us are going to be este, esta, estos, and estas. Now we're going to talk about the demonstrative adjectives for items that are not close to us. In English, this would be like saying that and those. So, our demonstrative adjectives that we are going to use when items are not close to us, we are going to say ese, esa, esos, and esas. In Spanish, they also have words for that and those for items that are far away. We don't really have something like this in English, but it's a that and a those, again, that's farther away. Our demonstrative adjectives for when things are really far away are going to be aquel, aquella, aquellos, and aquellas. This slide might provide a better visual example for you. You can see that este is when it's close because the arrow is really small. Ese, it's a little bit farther away. And aquel has the longest arrow because it's when it's something that's over there far away. Demonstrative adjectives are always going to appear before the noun. We need to remember that they should agree in gender and number with the noun that they are describing. So here we have this little mouse, and he is talking about the 3 different cats that are in the room. And you will notice, first of all, that the demonstrative adjective comes before the word cat, gato. Also, please notice that since gato is singular and masculine, he is using the singular masculine demonstrative adjective forms. When he points to this first cat, he says este gato, ese gato, and aquel gato. Because again, we are talking about where an item is located or a person is located depending on the speaker. So the little mouse or little rat is a speaker. So since this cat is closest, we say este gato. This cat, not so close, we're going to say ese gato. And this cat is way over there, far away. We want to say aquel gato. Remember that our demonstrative adjectives also have plural forms as well as feminine forms. Let's look at a good example. All of a sudden we have multiple pingüinos and we say estos pingüinos. Esos pingüinos. Aquellos pingüinos. Let's help Isabel pick out the shoes that she wants to wear. Isabel says, quiero estos zapatos. I think I'm going to pick these right here. Oh no, I was wrong. Let's try it again. Oh, estos. She means these. They're going to be the ones closest to her. Oh, I was right, and Isabel said gracias. Going back to our notes, you need to do a couple examples of demonstrative adjectives. Why don't you go ahead and pause your video at this time so you can fill out the examples given. Bueno, ahora vamos a checar nuestras respuestas de los ejemplos. ¿Cuánto cuesta este anillo? Ese anillo cuesta $10. Aquel anillo es más barato. We also are going to have our demonstrative pronouns. And I got some really good news. As you can see, the demonstrative pronouns are the exact same as the demonstrative adjectives, with one very small addition. So looking at these demonstrative pronouns right now, have you figured out how these are different? It's a very minute detail, but have you figured it out? Well, I hope you have realized that the demonstrative pronouns all have accents on them now. Also, we need to recall that a pronoun does something completely different than an adjective. A demonstrative pronoun is going to take the place of a noun. Also, they do still agree in gender and number with the noun that they are replacing. Go ahead and pause the video at this time so you can do your ejemplos in your notes that you need to do. Muy bien. Ahora vamos a checar nuestras respuestas. ¿Cuánto cuesta este? Ese cuesta $10. Aquel es más barato. Hopefully you got all those right and you didn't forget the accent marks because those are really important. That's the only way that I'm going to be differentiating between a demonstrative adjective and a demonstrative pronoun. So here I have my little friend. We're going to call her Maria. And Maria really, really likes fat cats. She's got 3 at home. And she's the girl that sits to you in class. She sits next to you in class, and all she does is talk about her fat cats. And you are just so interested in these fat cats that one day you go over to her house to meet them. So, you know that you're talking about the fat cats. They're right in front of you. So you don't have to keep saying the word gato over and over and over again. So, Maria can point to this gato right here. He's the closest to her, and what matters is her, the speaker, where she's standing, and she's going to say, este es su favorito. This one's her favorite. But then all of a sudden she sees her second fat cat, and oh no, ese es su favorito. But then she remembers her favorite cat is actually the fattest of all, and she's going to say, aquel es su favorito. One of the most important things that you need to remember when dealing with demonstrative adjectives or demonstrative pronouns is that the location of the items from the speaker is what matters in determining if you're going to use este, ese, or aquel. If an item is close, not close, or far away.